What is going on? How is everybody doing? Forza Milan. Only two words. Forza, Forza Milan. Welcome to Milan News, guys. It is Thursday, January 23. We have Antonio with us. How you doing, Antonio?
I'm doing great, Roy. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Excellent. Antonio, another slow news day. Let's just be honest. The Milan news is not the most exciting news in the world right now. I think we have to wait and see after this contract renews, the renewals of Maldini Masada, and also we have to wait for July 1st. I think fireworks at this point are going to be happening on July 1st. But there are some things that to talk about. For example, this interview with Calhanoglu and Ibrahimovic, which is very interesting. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was. I actually got to read Ibrahimovic's new book because he mentioned that Ibrahimovic wrote something about him in his book, and I wonder what he said. But yeah, Calhanoglu is obviously going to get flamed for losing the Scudetto with Inter this season, and honestly, good because everyone here really loves him, so it's great.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of love for Calhanoglu in the Milan universe. That is for sure. No, I'm joking. But I want to read a little bit of this interview because there are some things that I actually agreed with Calhanoglu, to be honest with you. And some others, it's just him being Calhanoglu. But in the meantime, let's say hi to Christian. We got Christian in the house. What's up, Christian Pazmino? $100, and we get to see Red John's face 100%. We got Abduram King in the house. What's up, my friend? How you doing, sir? We got AJ in the house. Forza Milanisti. We got Hans Legolas, only tall people. Erdman in the house. The Scout. We have DOA. We have our Mr. Friend. We have our friend from Twitch. Every time our friend from Twitch has news, it's official news. Look at this. Pogba to Juve official via Fabrizio Romano. Pogba coming back to Juventus. Antonio, what do you think about that?
I think it's a good deal. It's free transfer, so it's good, and he's a good midfielder, so he'll definitely be an improvement. Still curious to see how they fit in because, with Allegri, let's see how he plays with his style. Is it modern enough? Can they actually win? I don't think they're going to win the Champions League anytime soon. They're not really going to compete for the Champions League, but they could threaten for the league. I would be surprised if they don't come in top 3 next year, but yeah, they are definitely trying to make those improvements to better their team.
Yeah. No, they're definitely going to be more competitive this time around for sure, for sure. Allegri was his first year, needed to figure some stuff out. The second year, he's probably going to come back with a better team, and also, his system is going to be a little bit more oiled. We got Mustafa in the house. How you doing, Mustafa, my friend? How's it going? So Ziyech is looking more and more likely. Ziyech could be a very plausible option, and also a solution, maybe the easiest of all the solutions today, when we look at our options on the right wing. Berardi has a high price. Zaniolo has a high price. Then I guess De Ketelaere, if we want to use him as a right wing, has a high price. Traore, which is a player that we are going to be talking about today, maybe easier. But then Ziyech. Ziyech is a player that Chelsea wants to get rid of. But Ziyech is a player that has a lot of problems. To me, he raises a lot of red flags. I'll be honest, because of his issues with his coaches, his national team. He rejected his national team. He fights with every coach he has. What do you think of Ziyech, Antonio?
Ziyech, I think, is a lot of quality, but he, like you said, he has a lot of concerns. He doesn't, I guess, athletically is not maybe the best option. He's not the youngest option. He's, he looks like he's kind of on a little bit of decline from his best at Ajax, and so yeah, he's not as good.
He's definitely no doubt about his talent, though. The guy is super talented. I gotta say that, technical, talented, and if he can mold himself well in the Milan locker room and life in Italy, and just and all that, he could be very useful to the team if he joins. Christian says Ibra never said all of him, and if you've seen his interviews, it's team effort, bro. Yeah, we're going to talk about this interview.
Roy, I just want to say that today, even though there's not really like super interesting like player that Milan player news, there's a lot of like other like club movement that will impact us that I think it's important to talk about. So if you want to do that, we can.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go through the Calhanoglu thing first,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and then I'll pass the microphone on to you, and let's talk about all that stuff. The last time we got Traore was in the banter era. He doesn't fight with all his coaches. There's no issues at Chelsea. It's just that he doesn't fit with the back three system. Okay. Um, well, let's see. Let's see what happens with Ziyech. Okay, let's go to this interview here. There's just a few things that I want to touch on, and then we'll comment on them. Calhanoglu says it was very difficult. The transition from Milan to Inter was very difficult. Same city, different colors. Even adapting to the team was not easy. But I worked hard. I was very focused on my work. I knew I would go to the Italian champion team. This was my chance. Then the team I went to didn't win the Scudetto, which I went to the former team. People insinuated it was my fault. Our goal for next year remains to win the championship. Good players are also coming from the market. I think I made a good contribution to the team with assists and goals. Our team is doing very well. I'm very happy at Inter. The support of the fans also helps me a lot. I played at Milan for 4 years, but no one shouted my name from the stands, which happens every time I warm up pre-match with Inter. Little dig to the Milan fans. Inter is a much stronger team than Milan. We lost a derby that changed suddenly in the 75th minute after Perisic and I were subbed. We were ahead 1-0 and we lost 2-1. The coach also contributed to that defeat. I even told him. In the cup, however, we beat Milan 3-0. The team is very ambitious. So let's start with this first. Man, this guy has no filters. So, first of all, I agree with one thing that he said there. That after the 75th minute, Inter all of a sudden was a much easier team to play against. And one of those reasons is because Calhanoglu and Perisic went out. And this was one of the issues with Inter the whole season. That once their starters start going out of the field, then the bench players start coming in, all of a sudden there was a huge decline in the team. So he's actually correct in that. I agree with him on that particular thing. What do you think about that, Antonio?
I think that honestly we won because of a few moments of like quality that we finally strung together at the end. Um, and I don't think it was as much about the substitutions, but more about like just us kind of putting things together. I guess with the Giroud goals, like the first one was a little bit of luck, but we actually were like pressing more. The second one, Giroud just had like a world class turn and finish. So I mean, I think that's kind of more like it's more of Giroud and like our our attacking quality kind of finally stringing things together. That's kind of how we stole that one.
And Inter definitely had a lot of chances before all of that happened. So they could have buried the game much sooner. They could have buried the game much sooner. Now,
Yeah. Wait, just one
yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
I'm gonna be really honest. Like, I don't like to like be like a deluded fan. Like, Inter on paper have a better team than us,
Yeah,
and so they were more likely. They were the favorites to win the league this year. We
hmm
overperformed. So on paper, and like even in the most of the time we played them, they were the better team in most of the game. But we had more heart and like we played more, maybe as a unit, and so we were able to steal that one, draw them, and do well.
yep, 100%, 100%. Then he said, and then another thing here, he says, I think I made a no. The fans did not chant my name in the warm-ups, the Milan fans, but they did at Inter. I think that is not fair. I think a lot of fans were supportive of Calhanoglu during his time at Milan. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I didn't see it. I don't know. But I think he's being a little bit petty there.
This is complete. That's complete bullshit. I can guarantee you that. That's just a lie, just to dig at us. So there's no way that's true.
Yeah, yeah, that is definitely him being petty. He definitely has a lot of issues when it comes to his psychology. But the thing about him there, he blames the coach. Again, I agree with him about that, by the way. But he blames the coach, and that is something that you do not want to do if you want to have if you want to stay in the club. As a matter of fact, I think Inter is fining him for this interview. I read somewhere, but he blames the coach too, and he put his teammates under the bus. I mean, I'm glad he's. This interview tells me that I'm glad he's not with us anymore. Honestly, because he's with this team and he put his coach under the bus and he put his teammates under the bus, and he's trying to deflect, to the fans and all that. Now let's go to the Ibrahimovic thing. There's talk of a message that Ibra wanted to send the Turk during the post. Okay, so obviously Ibrahimovic in the celebrations was telling the fans to sing that Hakan chant. So this is what Calhanoglu's response to that was. He's a 40-year-old man. I wouldn't do something like that if I were that age. He's not 18 years old. He likes to be the center of attention. This year, he did not even contribute to winning the Scudetto, he says, which is definitely not true. He has practically never played, but he does everything to attract the attention of the fans. I don't care at all. It's not right because he's a person who always calls me when I'm in Milan, when I was at Milan, who wanted to go out to dinner and ride motorcycles with me. I respected him. He also wrote about me in his book. He had to write these things or his book would be empty. I don't answer to him. It's better not to answer. So, definitely Calhanoglu getting a little bit heated on that, on Ibrahimovic, uh, telling the fans to sing those chants. What is your opinion on this? And then I'll tell you mine.
I think honestly, like they did have a good relationship when they were at Milan. I'm pretty sure Ibra was just like kind of surprised that he just decided to move on to Inter. And when that happens with Ibra, Ibra's gonna say stuff about it. So, and like you said, with Hakan's like mentality, it's kind of strange. So they're gonna be beefing for sure. I was expecting this. Um, I think he's kind of a bit like he's trying to rebuttal or answer back uh, to what Ibra said in his book and like what Ibra was doing at the stadium. So he has to kind of act like this to somewhat like it's really petty. It's like a social media fight on Twitter between two people. It's like this back and forth, and honestly, it's kind of entertaining, but it's kind of pointless at the end.
Yeah, I still have to. Yeah, I haven't. I think you mentioned this earlier to me before we started. Like, I haven't. You didn't read what Ibra wrote. I don't know what he wrote either. I haven't read his book. Maybe if someone in chat knows. Um, but I thought it was funny. I think it's funny. I don't think it was hostile by Ibra though. I think he's just playing in the banter. I don't think Ibra has any hostility towards Hakan. I don't think. I mean, I think it's all banter, and that's all it is. But Hakan definitely took it too hard. Huh? He definitely took it too hard. Do you think? This is a question now. Do you think that Ibra and also Theo Hernandez, when they were instigating the fans to chant Hakan, son of a bee, because that's what it is. Do you think they're out of line in doing that, or should they be let's say, a better example to youngsters?
Well, being on this channel, I don't think no one cares about the youngsters anymore. Everyone says what they want. No, I'm just kidding. But I guess if you want looking at role models, sure. But if you're asking me with my own decision after what Chanoglu said and how he acted at the derby and like he was like celebrating and like the stuff he was saying in interviews like was actually really surprising to me. Um, so after like the way he like disrespected us, like I totally support us disrespecting him like that. But that's kind of like not really the best for children, but in my opinion, it's only like justified.
Yeah, in the end of it, it's just this ongoing banter. It's a very interesting situation, and it's good for the rivalry. It's good for the story today of Milan versus Inter, the ex-players. Actually, I want to comment on this because there's definitely truth in what Mustafa is saying here. He's saying Hakan is a hypocrite. Zlatan is who made him what he is today, and he said it before how Ibra helped him. Now all of a sudden Ibra's useless 40-year-old. So now one thing is for sure that before Ibra joined Milan, Milan never achieved any of its objectives. Never. So it was only after Ibra came in that Milan started to achieve its objective and climb the ladder up. So, and of course, Calhanoglu was part of the team that finished fifth and part of the team that finished second last year. So it was only after Ibra came in that Milan was able to achieve those objectives. So he is definitely lying about that. He's definitely lying about that. And this year, it is a well-known fact that even if Ibra does not play, he still influences the team. And Ibra has not. He does talk as if he takes credit. He does do that, Ibra. I gotta admit. But you can also. But he also. There was also the footage of him, you know, talking about every player in the bus, if you remember that. And there was. And there's footage of him saying the only way we can do this is we sacrifice for each other, we work hard, and you know we play as a team. So yeah, there's a lot of BS in this in what he said there. Uh, Mustafa says Hakan was shit at Milan before Ibra. If it wasn't for Ibra, wouldn't even look at him. Il Turco put himself in this situation, so f off. Who is Hakan? What was Hakan expecting when he chose our direct rivals in this Milan? I mean, it takes a lot of nerve to choose Inter. But you know what? The thing is that for me, I like Hakan as a football player. So I know everybody disagrees with me in this channel. I like him as a football player. I actually do agree with what he said about the tactics the Inter there in that game. But he's definitely a weird personality. He's definitely a strange guy. Antonio, to end this conversation, then I want to go to the players that you want to talk about. What do you think about his personality? Are you glad that he's ultimately left, or yeah, go ahead.
I actually kind of agree with you in the sense that I don't think he's a bad player, and I think he's a good cam for our system. That's kind of what Pioli like. He was very important to Pioli, but as a person, he's just an absolutely terrible person from what I've been like hearing. So I don't mind him leaving. I'm very happy. I just hope we can finally bring in a cam to fully, have a player that we can say is better than him. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm like where I'm at right now.
Renato Sanchez, hopefully. Hakan should have spent more of his energy on his wife than talking about Milan. Maybe she wouldn't have cheated on him. Damn, he's poor. Nice. Guys, if you haven't already, please like the video, guys. Please click that like button. Show us you're Milanista. Show us how you support the channel. So if you haven't already, please like that button. Let's read this last here. Then we'll close the whole Hakan thing. And then, Antonio, you take over. Hakan has a strange past because he was always publicly opposed his former colleagues and especially the club. This already started when he played in Karlsruhe. I don't know how to pronounce that. Paul says, I like Hakan as well, Roy, as a football player, but his bottle job is not a world class and disappears in big games. Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, please like that page. Antonio, go ahead. What do you have for us?
All right, so I think we should just run through like what some really famous journalists have said yesterday, today, maybe even the day before.
Yeah.
I guess I'll bring up any big thing, even if it's a little bit beyond Milan, but like in the Serie A, maybe like even Paul Pogba, for example, he met with his agent met with Juventus this morning, and it looks like it's a done deal now, like you said, like we discussed. The next piece of news that we should get into is about a Milan player, and it's not really good news. It's Charles de Ketelaere, and it looks like Leeds United are interested in jumping on like him. They basically like they're gonna sell Rafinha for like £60 million, which is crazy. Maybe £65 million. So they're making a lot of funds, so they can potentially bring him in. So that's kind of concerning news. Another Premier League club is interested. I guess I'll just keep moving through, and then we can discuss all of them. So another below, I guess, would be about Enzo Fernandez, which is one of the main topics of this stream for sure. And it looks like Benfica have basically agreed to an 18 million fee for him. Um, and I'm just gonna bring up the confirmation. Yes, so it looks like 10 million plus 8 million in add-ons for Enzo Fernandez to Benfica. So it looks like that is a done deal. Um, Another piece of news, and we can discuss this all, is about Nkunku. It looks like he's re-signed with Leipzig until June in 2026. And but he has a 60 million release clause in his contract, so it's doable. It's very doable.
60 million?
Yeah,
Oh my god. What are we waiting for?
I guess we're waiting for Jordi Cardinale to invest. But yeah, it looks like that's going to be activated soon.
Ooh.
And I'm just making sure those are kind of the last pieces of news here. Yeah, that's basically those are all the main things that I read.
Okay.
And
So
there's one more,
go
but
ahead.
I'll get to that later for sure. But there's like a big player that is being linked with us, but I'll wait.
Okay. Let's start with De Kettler first. So, yeah, Romano says Leeds could rival Milan for Club Brugge star if they complete the 75 million sale. Um, so, yeah, the 20-year-old Belgian talent is one of the options in the list, given that Rafinha could leave the Yorkshire club for 75 million euros. Romano confirms that Milan are also interested in De Kettler and have been for a long time. Meanwhile, Leeds' wish list also includes Cody Gakpo of PSV, Eindhoven, but that is not an advanced negotiation, nor is it close to closing. As far as De Kettler goes, I'm not too concerned about our, let's say, English teams that are rivaling Milan, because I think the players' will today is always going to be I'd rather go to Milan than go to Leeds, or I'd rather go to Milan than go to Newcastle. It's more so when the teams are Barcelona, Bayern, and Man City. That's when I'm like, okay, we don't have a chance there. But when it comes to these smaller clubs, I do feel still pretty confident that we can land these players. Of course, you know, it's up to the club to accept the offers. So there's going to be a big tug of war between the player and between the two clubs. I'm not very concerned about this Leeds link, I'll be honest. I don't know if De Kettler is going to be joining Milan in the end. But I think that today the De Kettler option is still viable, is still there. And if we get him, good. If not, we'll get someone else. That someone else could be Traore, by the way. Have you?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you know about Traore? What do you know about Traore?
he looks to be a player with a lot of interest in the past couple of days. Um, because in the past we've already spoken with his agent. Um, it looks like we can potentially get him for 20 million, which is a good deal. He scored 7 goals and 2 assists this season, which aren't the best numbers. But when I watch him play, he very much passes the eye test. He's very good at dribbling. He's quick. He does look like he's more of a left wing player, like attacking midfielder, left winger, but mainly left winger. Um, and basically, they're looking at apparently a loan deal with an obligation to buy for 20 million. So that's kind of the current situation with him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good player. He's definitely a good player. Out of the attackers in the Sassuolo lineup, all of them are good. Actually, they're all top notch. To be honest with you, Raspadori, Scamacca, Berardi, and Traore, they're all kind of the same level. All players that are suitable for top four teams. Now, Traore, his agent is the same agent as Pioli, same agent as Messias. So there's that connection there. He's been linked as a replacement for Sanchez, though, as an attacking midfielder. But he could also play on the wings. That's why I mentioned him. He's not being linked to Milan as a winger. He's being more so being linked to Milan as an attacking midfielder. But he played mostly left wing at Sassuolo.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Let me ask you. So, what is do you have concerns with this Leeds going in for De Kettler? And if we lose the Cadler to Leeds, how do you say? How do you
Honestly,
recommend?
right now, I've kind of detached myself emotionally from this Mercato because I think that I could like players like Sanchez, and then believe if you read the sources, the done deal, and then you just get scares from PSG. So I don't really have any attachments. I'm just hoping we sign somebody very promising. I don't really know who, but when we sign someone, then I'll like evaluate. But right now, I don't really care if we miss out on a certain player. Unless like you tell me that we're about to get in Kunku and then we just change our minds, like then I'd be disappointed. But right now, I'm out of all the players, I'm not really like too like attached to anyone, so I'm fine.
This is just me, guys. This is just me, nothing else. I still have the feeling that Sanchez, being our primary target all this time, is the player that. I think this deal is just a matter of Paolo Maldini and Masada signing the new contract. Once that new contract is signed, um, come July 1st, Sanchez is going to be officially an AC Milan player. That's how I feel really strongly about this one. Um, I, this is what I think. What I think. We'll see if it's true or not. But I am expecting Sanchez to wear the famous red and black shirt next year. Eastbourne says Leeds and Leicester too are after CDK, so it's going to be tough competing financially against the Premier League teams. Yeah, as I said, Leeds and Leicester are teams that maybe are not as appealing as Milan to a football player, so we have the advantage there. Sempre Milanista from Twitch says, I'd be shocked if CDK goes to a non-UCL team, considering he has been a UCL player the last few seasons, and that is another reason why I'm not concerned about some of these links. What is this? Maldini has been in contact with Neymar, according to Longo. Yo, Longo man Longo is putting himself in the in a storm of bullets. That guy.
Yeah,
Okay, so what was the other one? So after Charles de Keller, what was the other player you spoke
Enzo
about?
Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez. Um, yeah. So there was personal agreement have not been reached, correct? If that's been, or have they, or is it official?
With
Is it?
Benfica, I'm pretty sure it's a done deal from what I
It's
read.
it's official. So the other day, the news came out that they had agreement with the clubs. Benfica and River Plate had agreed on the player. Um, this was a player that I thought would have been a very good alternative to Sanchez, because I mean, by what we saw from him, he looked very good. He looked very good. But this is another indication that tells me that Sanchez is probably coming to Milan, because we let this Fernandez slip right now. He was probably told, don't wait for us. Now, if it's true that he asked the club to wait because he wanted to wait to see what Milan would have done, if that is true, they probably told him, look, don't wait for us. We've already have our guy. That's at least how I see it. Whether it's that way or not, it is to be. It's all to be seen. It's all to be seen. Um, any opinions regarding Enzo Fernandez going to Benfica?
I will say that I don't really care as much because he's maybe promising, but I don't really think he would be ready to make a big impact. So I think I would much rather have a player who's, you know, maybe a bit more like mature, like Sanchez, someone who is gonna like come into Kessie's role and increase the quality of the team. So I think that is what I would like to have, but it does. I mean, now I'm curious to see like if we can't close Sanchez, who do we bring in? So
Who do we
that's
bring in? Good
important.
question. And there was a link there that we will talk about soon. Here it says yes. Calcio Mercato writes that Fernandez, the deal is 10 million plus 8 million bonuses for 75% of the player's sporting rights. Although the statement from Benfica does not specify it, it is believed that part of the deal is that he will move to Portugal once the Copa Libertadores is over. Fernandez was also linked with Wolves and Milan. Daniele Longo, our favorite journalist, wrote on Twitter that the Rossoneri were indeed keen on the player, and chief scout Jeffrey Moncada spoke directly with him. However, he was always an alternative to Renato Sanchez of Milan. I am so sure that that Renato Sanchez is coming to Milan that I don't think it's pointless to even talk about these players. But let's do it just because this is Milan news. Yeah, honestly, this is how I feel, Antonio. I think the reason why Sanchez and Fernandez is not coming to Milan is because Sanchez is a done deal, and Milan are not pursuing that position anymore. They're looking at other positions.
I hope you're right.
Hope so. Hope so. I very much so hope so. All right, let's go to chat, and then let's go to the other player you spoke about, Antonio. Renato Sanchez will be a Milan player. Can't say how I know, but it will land the player. It's like I feel like it's written in the stars. We sealed the deal for Renato and Botman. If PSG and Newcastle really wanted those two players, they would have gotten and announced them already. Yeah, the PSG links with Renato Sanchez have died down. The Botman situation is different because there's more to that. We'll see how that goes. Was there any news on Botman today?
I did not see much news. I did see that there's like alternative players that
Right.
Milan are looking at, but not really, advancing for him.
What was the other player you spoke about?
I don't know if I named this. Let me think. I believe. Well, I have other players, but let me think. Did I say 3 when I was talking about the main links that I saw? I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Well, this player here has been linked as an alternative to Renato Sanchez.
I said Nkunku with the 60 million release.
Oh, right. Nkunku was 60 million. Oh, my God. I mean, shit. We should do that right away. We should do that yesterday. We should have done that yesterday. Nkunku, 60 million. The only thing about that is that it'll come down to wages. The bidding war for the wages.
I can already tell you what's going to happen.
Go ahead.
What's going to happen is, like, next summer, or maybe even... I think next summer you're gonna have Manchester City or Manchester United or some like Premier League team or even PSG if they want a player like that, they're gonna be going. They're all gonna pay 60 million, and they're all gonna be like doing this wage war for Nkunku, and one of them are gonna sign him because that's what happened with Haaland basically.
Yep.
Man City came away with that. When you have these release clauses, it's like they can all afford it, so I can guarantee that will happen.
I'm surprised they value him so low.
I think the release clause was already built into his contract, like when he first signed. I think with the extension, it's like sometimes you see that happening, like with the way contracts are structured. If when they extend the contract, there's like a release clause that gets activated, and they establish that when they first signed the player, so he was nowhere near like what he is now, basically.
If City sells Sterling Nkunku to City, says Sempre Milanista, Nkunku just renewed with Leipzig 2026. I think they adjusted the buyout upwards. Yeah, I think Eastbourne mentioned that that release clause also depends on certain things. And it might be higher. But yeah, I agree with you. It will come down to the wage wars. And when it comes down to the wage wars, I don't think we're part of that conversation. We're not going to be part of that conversation. Okay, so now let's look at this one here. I think this one is a pretty interesting one. Again, let's take these links with a grain of salt. These are mostly probably journalists putting suggestions out there. Pianeta Milan writes that given Frankesi expiring contract, the possibility of blah blah blah. Let's go straight into the meat of the conversation. Renato Sanchez is the main target, but Milan is evaluating Gundogan, or one of the alternatives could be Gundogan. The former Borussia Dortmund turns 32, embodies the prototype of a midfielder suitable for Pioli's game. I definitely agree with that. He can play the role of attacking midfielder or a bit deeper, absolutely. There's no negotiation underway between Milan and City for Gundogan, but he could be a valid plan B in case the Sanchez operation collapses. So a lot of these names that are being linked to the news, like Dybala, are just suggestions from journalists. like this one here. But let's talk about Gundogan, because Gundogan could be a good solution, I think, for AC Milan. Gundogan does have those qualities of that are well suited for Italy: fighter, personality, grinta, and he is good with the ball. He plays the possession football game with Guardiola. Um, what do you think? Could he be a viable solution?
Gundogan is a very good player, and he's actually contributes a lot offensively to like he's a central midfielder, but he also contributes to the attack a lot for a central midfielder. He's not really a defensive midfielder at all, in my opinion. Like he can defend and do some work, but he's not. It's not what he's best at. So he would. I don't know how he'd fit into our system. I see him similar to Pogba in a sense, but maybe a bit more attacking than Pogba, like as his role.
Yeah, he could be used the same way Krunic is being used, right? Just a super
Yeah.
a super improved Krunic, maybe. It's an interesting link. I don't know if Man City is interested in selling Gundogan. I don't know if that were to happen. Again, I really feel that the Renato Sanchez thing is going to happen, so this is just to fill up news time, really. But if the road leads to Gundogan, I'd be pretty happy with that. Mustafa says, honestly, we should just renew Romagnoli, even if we have to give him a little more, although he might not have a choice because Lazio's not giving him what he wants. Romagnoli, your favorite player, Antonio.
I love this guy. He's the best defender.
Honestly, I agree with Mustafa there, but I know people won't agree with me. We got Nathan in the house. How you doing, my friend? What's up? What's up, Nathan? How you doing? Jensen DeMillo says Douglas Luiz is a great player, one of Aston Villa standouts last season. I did see that this Villa player is being linked to Milan. What do you know about it? What do you know about him? I don't know anything about him.
I think he's a solid player. I don't think he's like incredible because I haven't really seen like too much talk about him, but when I watch Aston Villa play, he's definitely like pretty consistent, so I like him.
Douglas Luiz is more of a center midfield CDM. No, but if he is coming from Villa, it's not like he's coming from. I don't know. How did Villa do this year?
They're always like a mid-table team, but I mean, Villa's a team that they just signed Boubacar Kamara, and like they're definitely signing good players. So.
Well, them signing Boubacar Kamara might mean that one of their midfielders is on the way out. Is that the right midfielder for Milan? I don't know. I don't know. How many more weeks till Maldini and Masada renews with us? Until they get renewed, we are signing no one, and it's getting frustrating. It is kind of getting frustrating, I gotta say, right? But
yes.
it should be anytime soon. I mean, July 1st is around the corner, exactly 1 week from now, I think, or 8 days or 7 days from now. So it should be happening anytime soon. And then, guys, the fireworks happen. Did you see Maldini dancing to the Rolling Stones? He looks like he's in...
I did not. Where was this?
There's footage of him dancing to the Rolling Stones, so he looks like he's in good spirits. What's up, Saif? We got Saif in the house. Gundogan is so uninspiring for Saif.
Wow. Roy, I have two more pieces of news, that are kind of small.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure you've seen this, but one of them is just confirming that Origi will be in. He's arriving on Monday, and he will do his medical on Tuesday.
Was this a Romano, right?
I don't. Maybe it was, but I saw this it was on Sempre Milan yesterday, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, let me get to that article. Yeah, go ahead.
And the other piece of news is about the preseason friendlies, because it's been confirmed that we have, in addition to the game against Cologne, there will be two more games. One in Hungary against Zalaegerszegi, TE, and another game against Marseille. So those are 3 games that we have confirmed now. And there probably will be some others, but that's a lot.
Nice, guys. July is going to be an awesome month, guys. July is going to be one of the best months of the year when it comes to Milan, because the market is going to go in full swing. We're going to see the youngsters play. We're going to see. We're going to comment on the Primavera players, and we're going to see all the other teams what they do. July is going to be an amazing month for Milan, and then right away in August the Serie A will start. It's going to be a hectic schedule, guys, super hectic schedule. Okay, so let's look at this. Origi, Di Marzio says, let's see, he spoke on Sky and took stock of what is currently happening in Milan's Mercato, confirming that Divock Origi will arrive in Italy on Monday evening, and on Tuesday he will undergo his medical examinations. As I said, not a firework kind of player, right? No fireworks for Divock Origi, but for our offensive depth, this is an excellent signing. I think we have a bet, Red John and I see Red John in the chat. What's up, Red John? His bet is that Divock Origi in Serie A is going to score somewhere around 15 to 16 goals. I said 10 to 11, and I'm being pretty generous. What do you think? How many goals do you think he's going to score?
I hope he gets 15. He's kind of like a mystery. Like you don't really know what to expect from him. I'll say 15 good season. Or I guess I'll say 13 or 12 to be like reasonable, but big Origi season, guys.
Yeah. So anyway, so Tuesday next week we're finally going to see our first big signing, right? Origi being one of the big players.
Free transfer signing.
Free transfer signing, but a player that has an important history so far, football-wise. You know, winning the Champions League, being part of Klopp's team, but obviously now a fringe player for Liverpool. Okay, and what else did DeMar say? Regarding Sven Botman, Lille are insisting that the player accept a move to Newcastle United, who have a bid of 40 million plus 5 in bonuses. The player's destination is Milan, preferred destination, we knew that. Milan remains in contact with the Cutler agents, but as you said earlier, Leeds got in the picture. We know that Leicester, was it Leicester? Yeah, Leicester's in the picture, right? Leeds, in short, accelerations are needed on multiple fronts if the Rossoneri are to strengthen the squad by signing their main targets. I wonder if De Cutler was ever a main target. Do you think De Cutler was made up by the news?
I think we have very strong interest in him. I don't think it's made up, but honestly, I think right now our management's just trying to look at a bunch of different players because we have no idea what's happening with our budget and the owners. So it's just all in chaos right now.
Yeah. So another very interesting interview that came out, aside from the Calhanoglu one, was De Sciglio. I don't know if you read that one. Did you read that one?
I did not read that one.
De Sciglio was talking about his last days at Milan and basically how he felt really bad and rejected from the Milan fans, and he was treated as the scapegoat of that, terrible period. And he was saying that the media was reporting that he had already signed with Juventus, and he was saying that was not true. That was not true, that he had never signed with Juventus, but the media was saying all this stuff. That's another example of how the media just makes shit up. So I wonder if De Cutler is even true at this point, is even real. Because the thing about Sanchez and Origi and Botman is that these players, we heard them. We heard Maldini talk about them. We heard them because these are links that happened a long time ago during the games. So the people that were interviewing Maldini Masara asked him. But when was last time Maldini has had an interview?
Yeah.
So the question is De Cutler even real? Is this even a real thing? Guys, I don't know. It's crazy to know. Crazy to know. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, where Florenzi. Yeah. I think they. I don't know if it's official, but it looks like they had the meeting with what's his name, Pinto.
Massara was meeting with Thiago Pinto about this.
Yeah, so it looks like Florenzi is going to be good. No problem with him. We already spoke about him earlier. We're very happy with Florenzi. Messias. What's going on with Messias? Have you heard anything about Messias? Because there was talk about him renewing, but then those talks have slowed down. Actually, I heard yesterday that Elliot. Oh, this is what I heard yesterday, guys. Check this out. I can't remember who was saying this. I don't remember who was saying this. But when Messias was bought, Elliot was against this operation. And I think at the time we kind of knew because Messias was a little bit older, right? But Elliot had put the funds available for Favre. And then Maldini decided at the last moment to go for Messias instead.
Hmm.
And I think this came out this was spoken about because of the situation with Maldini. He wants more power. If that is true, what do you think about that? Maldini opting for Messias instead of Favre.
I maybe because of Favre's like attitude and personality, maybe Maldini wasn't sure if he would be the right fit, or worth the money, so he wanted to go for a safer, like less of a risk option. I mean, other than that, I don't really know why he wouldn't go for Favre.
Yeah, very interesting that I don't remember who was saying that, but he was talking about maybe it was on Radio RossonARI. Someone was talking about that in the conversation of how Maldini wants more bureaucratical and decisional power. Saif says Messias deserves to say Salamaker's contract should be terminated. I disagree with you, my man. All right, let's talk about Lukaku. Lukaku joining Inter. Huh? Saki had some words about that. Yoda, AC Milan's Yoda, had some words about Lukaku. How Milan needs to overcome Lukaku. Did you read this?
I did not, but I think. Oh, actually, I skimmed it, but we can go into it a bit.
Yeah, Saki was interviewed by La Gazzetta dello Sport and he spoke about Lukaku's return to Inter and what it might mean in view of the Scudetto race. Every time Saki speaks, we listen. Inter is certainly the team with the highest quality elements, but we have seen that Milan has overcome thanks to team spirit and enthusiasm. Do you agree with that statement? Enthusiasm?
In a sense, yes. Like, I mean, I guess energy, like group, our sense of like group as well. But enthusiasm is just one of the many reasons why I think we're successful.
Yes, and also because maybe they didn't have Lukaku that we became more successful. um, who knows if they did have Lukaku this year? If maybe they would have won more games. Who knows? Lukaku's return is important, first of all, because the player wanted it after a not particularly happy year. He's a serious person. He's still young enough. He has energy to spend, and Inter will be able to benefit a lot from this new ally. Um, how worried are you with Lukaku joining Inter?
I'm a bit worried because I know they're going to be a better team. Um, but like I said, I'm more focused on us than I am about them.
Yeah, for me, honestly, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried at all about Lukaku. I think Milan at this point has reached its maturity. They're not children anymore. They were children. Now going into the next season, Milan is still a young squad. It still is a very young squad, but it's a young squad that is mature. So I'm not worried about Milan not being able to compete against Inter. I like that Lukaku is coming back to Inter. Because that means that Inter will be more competitive. That means that Italian football is going to be more competitive. I like that Pogba is going to Juve. I want Juve to get Neymar. I want Juve to get Di Maria. I want these players to come to Italy. So more of these players come to Italy, more eyes on the Serie A, the competition is higher, and this benefits everybody. It benefits everybody. I'm not a freaking loser that I want my team, my direct competitors to get weaker. I want my direct competitors to get stronger because iron sharpens iron. When Milan was on top of the world, it was because Juventus at that time had a crazy good team. Inter at that time had a crazy good team. The stronger the teams are in Serie A, the better it is for AC Milan. As long as we, you know, don't regress. As long as we keep on progressing in talent and buying players, etc.
Roy, I have to sign off, but if you're still on in like maybe 15 minutes, I can jump back on. Let's see.
All right, perfect. I'm just gonna do the Lukaku thing, and then almost done. I should be done in 10 minutes. So if you're ready, if you're back in 10 minutes, join us. All right. Let's see what else he says. Milan have shown the team always. Have shown that the team always wins over the individual. That is true. Football is a team sport. It is a team sport. The best signing for RossonARI is being able to have the motivation and team spirit that allowed the team to win the Scudetto. That's true. And where do you see that team spirit? You see that team spirit in Bakayoko. You see that team spirit in Castillejo. You see that team spirit in Daniel Maldini. When a team has good chemistry, good spirit, you don't see it from the players that are on the pitch. You see it from the players that are off the pitch. Right? Bakayoko never said anything about him not playing enough. Castillo, look at Castillo, how his impact of the team from being the third option. Right? That is when you know you have a family. When the players that are not playing are there smiling in the pictures, celebrating when their teammates score, celebrating. Look at Bakugo's celebration of the Scudetto. Look, he celebrated as if he was one of the stars of the team. So that team spirit is the most important thing in football, is the team, the family, the sacrifice for each other. That is beyond everything. And imagine having that and superstars like Barcelona, Guardiola's Barcelona. That is something else. Roy the Juventino di Merda is back. Bruh, fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. We have the best CDM in the league, the best LB in the league, the best LW in the league, the best goalkeeper in the league, and possibly the best CB in the league. This time, Inter is getting not Lukaku. That's funny. Lukaku will be up against Tomori and Kalulu, not Romagnoli anymore. True. And as I said, I'm not worried about this. I'm happy that I want Inter to be stronger. I want Juventus to be stronger. Inter lost Perisic, about to lose Skriniar, and have only brought in Lukaku. Bellanova and Asllani Mkhitaryan are a step down in quality. Well, I wouldn't say that Mkhitaryan is a step down in quality. I wouldn't say that Bellanova or Asllani are a step down in quality. These are youngsters. They still need to show who they are, and they're going to only grow more and more with a bigger team. Don't fall in the trap of thinking just because they're going to the rivals, the Merde, that they're going to not become good players, right? Remember, Bellanova is pretty much, let me say, Asllani is similar to when we got Benacer. Empoli got demoted. Tonali got demoted, right? So do not make the mistake of thinking that these players are not going to grow and contribute. These are all youngsters, except for Mkhitaryan. Bellanova, Asllani, both youngsters that had both very good seasons and both could grow into very important players. Bellanova, by the way, ex-Milan player. Inter's window of transfers are done due to their financial problems. Will improve our team without losing any quality. I hope so. I hope so too. I don't think Inter is going to lose any quality, by the way. I don't think Inter is going to lose any quality. Vistara could be a very good player for us. Hope we get him. Yeah, if he's one of the players that we get, that'll be excellent. Like the video, guys, if you think Hakan'S is a piece of ass. Yeah, guys, please like the video if you haven't already. Like the video if you haven't already. I missed the old days of the Serie A. Even Roma was a force. Oh yeah, absolutely. Remember Roma? You had Roma, you had Inter, you had Juve. Guys, I'm not. I want to beat the best. I'm not happy beating shit teams. I want to be the best. That's when I feel good. When we beat the best. Bellanova is very good, though. I agree. Curious to see how Lukaku plays in Inter without Conte. I think he's going to do fine. I think Inzaghi is going to Inzaghi is going to adapt the game for him. I don't think there will be a bad players. Just in the short term, it's a step down in quality compared to prior seasons. In the short term, maybe yes. Maybe we can say that yes. But remember that, again, sempre Milanista. Inter has a lot of good players on the team already that are not leaving. They might be losing Perisic, but they have Gosens there. Gosens is an exceptional footballer. If they lose Skriniar, they're probably going to get Bremer. Bremer, Serie A Defender of the Year. Bellanova, if they lose Dumfries, maybe Bellanova, you can say, Bellanova still has to improve himself. Mkhitaryan, already experienced player. They have Calhanoglu, they have Brozovic, they have Barella, they have Lautaro Martinez. Inter is going to build a very strong team, and I'm happy about that. Roy, you're still able to show goals or more because of the copyright? I can't show the Kaká goal, but I can show the other goals. And if we get copyrights, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. Inter's getting a competitive squad and should be the favorite again on paper, but so what? We have a real team and a young team. All we need is to challenge next season for the title and get top 4. Yeah. I agree with that. Tomorrow is going to be a long stream because of the Milan Forum. Guys, the Milan Forum is going to be back. We are putting the Milan Forum back in existence. So tomorrow, at least just for up until July, the Milan Forum is going to be back. Let's see where Inter at in 3 years and who is laughing. Yeah, Inter is all about the short term, for real. I'm definitely going to be streaming the friendlies that Milan is playing, for sure. For sure, I'm going to try and do that. Roy, did we overachieve last season? A little bit, yes. But we definitely played all our cards correctly. Did we overachieve? I think we are ahead in schedule. Maybe they weren't expecting Milan to be a trophy-winning team already, but that was the objective. The objective was to create a team that was going to win trophies, and I think we're just ahead of schedule. Yeah, which is good, which is great. Why did we let Bellanova go? Did we get money for him? Yeah, I think we got a good chunk of change for him. Yeah, we did. Another one that maybe we shouldn't have let go. So the league isn't mandatory next season. In my opinion, you can't win every year. But you can compete to try and win every year. Milan next year is obligated to try and win the Scudetto again. Also because we want to get that second star before Inter. That should be our motivation. Our motivation is to get that second star before Inter. And can we win next year? Absolutely we can win next year. But let's see how the season goes, guys. I think we are one of the favorites. Inter is going to be one of the favorites. Juve is going to be one of the favorites. Let's see what Napoli does. Let's see what Roma does. Mourinho's second year. Next year is going to be a super competitive league. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So next year is going to be maybe a little bit more difficult to win it, but our objectives for next year are these. In order for the team to keep on growing. Secure top 4 spot, keep that Champions League revenue coming in, keep the Champions League allure, right? Because as long as you compete in the Champions League, you can attract the best players. So that's why the Champions League is so important to reach top 4. That has to be the first objective of the season is sealing top 4. Then just as important as sealing top 4, we have to pass the group stages of the Champions League. Because if you pass the group stages of the Champions League, that allows the team to grow in revenue and it allows the team to have a strong winter mercato. So these are the 2 primary objectives that we have to achieve if we have a bad season. If we have a bad season, we need to seal top 4, and we need to seal securing we have to go through the group stages. Those two things will allow Milan to grow and to continue its projection, even though we don't win any trophies. Okay, so that's why these two things have to be sealed. Have to be sealed. Now, if we can seal the top four, then try and fight for the Scudetto. Try and win the Scudetto. I mean, they should try and fight for the Scudetto from day one. From day one, they should try and fight for the Scudetto, seal top four. Then after you seal top four, go all in for the Scudetto. And this is kind of what they did this year. We sealed the Scudetto. We've sealed top four. Having sealed top four a month in advance gave Milan the ability to go into the competitions with less pressure. And the only focus was winning the Scudetto. And that's good, because if you're competing just to win the Scudetto, that is much easier. But if you're competing to win the Scudetto and to try and win and try to get top four, it must be it's difficult. It has to be like a marathon, one step at a time. One step at a time, like when you're climbing a mountain, one step at a time to get to the summit. So, we'll see. Roy, when are you and Red Devil Studios getting together? Hopefully soon. Next year it's going to be Juve, Milan, Inter, Roma for the top four. Maybe, yeah, maybe. That's a good guess. Thoughts on top four? 100%. PSG are after Seco, Fofana now for the midfield, so maybe Renato is coming to Milan. I am so convinced that Renato Sanchez is coming to Milan. I have no doubts about this. I have absolutely no doubts about this. All right, guys. That's it for today. That's all we got for today. Tomorrow, join us for Colombo to Lecce. Is this true? Let's go to Gazzetta dello Sport before we close. Let's go to Gazzetta dello Sport before we close. Let's see. Svolta nel mercato. Juve abandons Di Maria. Paredes might be the right person for Juventus. I did see that Paredes has been linked to Juve. Blah, blah, blah. Douglas Luiz. Okay, so here it says that Douglas Luiz agents are at Casa Milan right now. Colombo to Lecce, Colombo to Lecce, Colombo to Lecce. Rabiot wants to go to the Premier League. Guys, by the way, this is not football related, but the greatest arm wrestling match in history in the sport of arm wrestling is going to happen on Saturday. So that's going to be fun. If you're an arm wrestling enthusiast like I am, you shouldn't miss the arm wrestling match between Devon Lerat and Levan. His last name is too crazy for me to pronounce. It's going to be on Saturday. You guys missed the links about Ibanez. Interesting option there. Let's see. I did have one last article I wanted to look at. Maybe it is there, since it is the Roma links. Let me check. Guys, if you have not, please like the video. Let's see where we're at right now. Let's see where we're at. We are at 28. Wow. If I don't remind people to like the video every 10 minutes, we fail. So today was a big F. Big F for the stream. The goal is to reach 40, and F for the stream. Big F for the stream. Big F for the stream. Guys, like the thing before I close. I cannot close until reach 40. I cannot close until we reach 40. Where are we at? We're at 31. Big F today. Big F. Roma director Diego Pinto held talks with his AC Milan counterpart Ricky Massari and his believer Alessandro Florenzi. Is not the only player they talked about. Let's see if it talks about Ibanez as well. No, it's talking about Cristante, Veretout, and everybody else. Pinto will meet Zaniolo's agent Vigorelli in Milano this evening to clarify the future of the player. I'm very curious to see what happens there. Very curious to see what happens there. Well, guys, like the page if you have not liked the page. Guys, unfortunately, guys, we can't have discussions of anything exciting right now. So we have to talk about all the BS that is being written in the news. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate you. We will see you in the next live. Have a great afternoon, and have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. See you next time. Alla prossima. Ciao.
Vincerai, non ti lasceremo.